Yo, hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome back to the page. Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all for the views, the likes, and subscriptions, man, first and foremost. Also, today I'm just kind of going through some basic steps in the beginning process of, just planting some starter plants. I'm in zone 10A, that's Port St. Lucie, South Florida. Some people will tell you right now it's too late to start from seed for summer crops, but the good thing about being in zone 10A is we have tropical weather year round, even in the winter time, so you can still plant from seed right now and possibly get a good harvest, at the top of fall. So today we're focusing on planting some hybrid tomatoes, some orange watermelon, jalapeno peppers, and bell peppers. Now, for starters, I tell everybody, use what you have. You don't have to go to the store and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on little small containers. Use what you have. Styrofoam cups, red cups. Just make sure you have some sort of drainage holes in whatever you're using for your seeds. And if you kind of look at the video there, you saw I pointed to the first line on my finger. When you're putting your soil in your cups or wherever, you take your finger. You don't want to make your hole deeper than that line on your finger to put your seeds in. And I always put one, sometimes two seeds in each hole because you never know if your seeds are going to germinate or not. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And if you follow my page, I'm going to post another video later on showing you guys the soil mixtures and the plant foods that I use. I don't believe in using fertilizers. I'm not organic, but I am all natural. It's pretty difficult to, keep up with a fully organic garden. But I'm all natural, so I'll post in my next video everything that I use, because the objective is for everybody to be self-sustainable. Another thing you guys want to do is label your cups. Label your cups, your pots. It doesn't matter. Write on your containers. If you see, I'll show you in the video some little naming tags that you can buy from Home Depot. Always name what you're planting so you don't, lose track of it. Because all peppers look the same in the seedling stage. And you don't really know what's what until they start flowering, and then they can cross-contaminate. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, first and foremost, guys, just plant the seed. Plant your seed. Don't be discouraged. These are some of the easier, crops to plant, especially in the summertime in South Florida, dealing with the heat and the humidity. But don't be discouraged. You're not going to be successful every time. A part of gardening is making the mistakes and learning from them. I've been gardening for about 6 or 7 years, and I still make mistakes. We're going to walk through every step, every process of everything that we're planning today. Every week I'm going to come back. We're going to give updates on where we are. So if you're interested, I think you should plant the same things that I'm planting so we can walk step by step, learn and grow together. Oh, and before I forget, another important factor is to make sure that your seeds are moist, not soggy. So you don't want them like soaking wet. One good way to test whether or not it's time to water your soil or not, stick your finger in it. If you stick your finger in it and it's dry to the touch inside, like that same line on your finger, stick your finger in it. If you feel it's dry, it's time to water. If you put your finger in it and it's still damp or moist, you don't have to water because you don't want to damage your beginning roots. That happens a lot as well. People say that, hey, I planted these seeds and, nothing happened 2 weeks later. Well, a lot of times that's why it's important to have those drainage holes in whatever cups that you have, because, again, too much water can cause your seeds not to germinate. There's another method that you can use, which is the paper towel method. You pretty much wet a paper towel, stick your seeds inside of it, fold the paper towel and stick it in the Ziploc bag. It's pretty much creating a greenhouse. I've done that before. It works, but If you're kind of busy like I am, it's easy to forget about the seeds and they dry out and you don't even get them in the ground. These last two items I'll bring up in my next video, but the BT is used for any type of insects that you may encounter, and the copper fungicide is used for any type of like mildew or moisture that you may encounter. Appreciate it, guys. See y'all on the next video.